All right, guys, welcome back. Here we are looking at the financial psychology exercises part 2. Now, part 1 was all about the past and how that has impacted us up until now in the present, okay? Everything that's led us up to this point. Section 2 is all about looking forward, and it's all about being intentional and charting a path forward. We don't have a whole lot of control about what happened in the past. We did maybe at the time have some control when we were a kid, much less control. As we became adults, more control, but still, if these subconscious beliefs about money, which we're operating again on the subconscious, right? They're not, you're not aware of them. You're not consciously doing it. If you weren't aware of them, they drive a lot of the behaviors. It's not totally your fault the way that things are right now, right? And so we have empathy about the past. We become aware. We gain great awareness about our own situation, our present state and beliefs. Now we get to be completely intentional about the future. And this is a very, very exciting part. This is just so much fun to do this. I do this exercise fairly regularly. I've done it a lot. And it's incredible to me how much clarity brings change in behavior, change in habits, change in identity, and change in outcomes. So this part 2 section specifically is something you can revisit, on a semi-regular basis to really get refocused, get clarity, and make sure that your trajectory is what you intend it to be. So these are more long form a little bit. And so this is all, there's a lot of blank space. Just want you to write, just like get it out. Free form writing. Don't think too much. Just let it out. The link below to the PDF. So print it out and follow along as you go through this and just take some good time. You might not be able to do this in one sitting. It could take more time than that. That's totally okay. Okay. So section 2 here, clarity on goals. So what I want you to do is write down your top values, your top life values, what you feel are most important. Okay. This could be 3 to 5, generally speaking. It could be more, but we want to stay focused. What are those values? And with each value, I want you to describe why it's important to you, why you feel there's a lot of values, there's a lot of principles out there. Why is it this high on your list? What makes it so important? And then also, what would your life look like if you fully lived your life in harmony with that value? So in other words, we're trying to determine what is the most important to you because we have limited attention, limited time, limited resources. We can't dedicate it to every good value out there. We have to pick and choose. So it can be a little bit difficult to do it, but pick your values and then describe why it's important and describe what your life would be like if you lived it out. I've seen a ton of variety and I love seeing the creativity as I go through this with others. It's incredible. Some of my values are family and relationships, faith, creativity. Those are some values that I hold really, really dear. Anyway, so there are others. It can come in any shape, any form, okay? But that's what I want you to do in this section here. Write down the values and how they're important. Then I want you to dig even deeper, go one more layer, and I want you to write out aspects of your ideal life. What does your ideal life really look like? And I want you to tie it into your values, right? Like how are your values influencing your ideal life or your ideal lifestyle? And this is really important to dig deep on, okay? I want to be able to travel and I want to have I want specifics here. This is what creates power in this exercise is specific details, okay? And so the details I'm looking for are what time do you wake up in the morning? When you wake up, what is your environment? Are you excited to wake up? What do you do in the morning? How do you spend your time? Who are you with? When do you eat breakfast? And what does that look like, right? Tell me what you do next, right? Do you work? Do you work out? Do you read? Do you meditate? Do you journal? What does it look like to you? What are you doing during the day? What are you spending your time on? Who are you with? What kind of people are you with? What kinds of things are you actively engaged in for work or not work? I guess if you don't want to work at all, my life would be extremely boring without work. I really find a lot of joy in it, but it's because I intentionally chose what I felt passionate about, what's fulfilling to me. And so I enjoy my work. It's not work to me. It's more like play. So what is it that you're doing? What do you spend your time filled with? What are your different endeavors, right? When you're with people, who are you with? How much time are you spending? What are you doing with them? What about your meals? What do your meals look like? Where are you eating? Where do you live? What does your house look like? Or your apartment or whatever? What state are you in? What's the environment that you want it to be? Okay. What time do you go to bed? How do you spend your leisure time? What are you doing? What hobbies do you have? On and on and on and on. Okay. I want you to really dive deep and think about this. And this could take some time. For me, it's taken many iterations over time to really arrive what I think my ideal is like. And honestly, it can change over time. That's totally fine. We have to get a really clear picture of what you think that is and write it in excruciating detail. And then answer these questions. How can money support you living your life according to those highest values? If money is a tool to help us live a fulfilling life, which I believe it is, then how is it doing that for for you? How is it helping you fully live out your values? To feel like you're on track with your financial goals, where do you see yourself in 2 years? Let's not talk about 5 or 10 or 20 or 30. Let's talk about 2 years. That's pretty close. In 2 years, where do you see yourself? And at that point, to feel good about your finances, what situation does that have to look like? Okay. And are you living out that ideal life in 2 years? Can you do that? And how would you structure it? And if you're not doing that now, what changes do you need to make so that you can be living that then? When would you like to retire? Now, this question is, we could change this all day long. Probably I prefer work optional as the term other than retire. I will probably never retire unless I'm forced to, because I like work. And I think most of us need to be engaged in something. Now, it doesn't need to be your own thing. It could be working, doing service for others or whatever. You need to be engaged in something. A lot of studies have shown that when those people that retire and then do nothing, their mental and physical health spirals downward at astonishingly quick rates. And so you don't want to be that person. While on the flip side, those that retire and then are engaged actively in things that challenge them mentally, physically, if they're busy, then their health and mentally and physically, it maintains for a long time. So you can see some of the oldest people also being the most active, and it almost is like contradictory, but that's how it is. So when would you like to make work optional, or be able to leave a job that maybe you don't love and pursue something that you do love, like a business, or do part-time consulting, or work part-time? At what point do you want that to be the case? What other financial goals do you have in mind right now? Are there any large purchases you're thinking about? Are you thinking about upgrading your house or buying your first home? Are you thinking about cabin somewhere, or a vacation home, or interest in a vacation property? Are you looking at a new car? Are you looking at sending kids to college? Are you looking to travel more extensively than you have before? What are these financial goals, based on your ideal life and what you have discovered up till now? What are they, and what are the large purchases you're thinking about? If you had all the money in the world, what would you do? This is a fun question and really difficult. Most people don't think beyond the very, very, very basic surface. Okay, dig deep on this, right? You already did it in a previous exercise. I want you to dig deep though. If you had all the money in the world, what would you do? What would actually make you happy? And then what would your ideal lifestyle be now and in retirement? What does that look like? You got to be crystal clear, right? What's your day to day? How do you spend your time? Where do you live? And what time of the year? What environment are you? Who are the people? Who are your neighbors? Are you close to family? Are you close to friends? Are you close to mountains, close to the beach, in the warm and the cold? All these things. What is the ideal lifestyle? You've described it above, but I want you to summarize it here. That pretty much wraps up part 2. Okay, so spend time on it. It's not very long, but it is important that you commit the time to going through this. And then also that if you're married or have a partner that you're working through this with, that you guys share this and you see where there are commonalities, where there are differences, because you want your partner to be very fulfilled in life as much as you want to be fulfilled in life. So there's definitely going to be some overlapping values and overlapping goals, but there are going to be differences, and that's okay and important, because we have to be individuals and we have to pursue what makes us individually happy as well as pursuing what makes us collectively happy. Okay, that's the right balance to have. And so understanding yourself and understanding your spouse or partner, understanding their values and their goals and how they want to spend their time, then you guys can start to create a path, like map out the roadmap to make that a reality and not leave anybody out of the mix. We both have to be, again, fully engaged and on the same page about what we want. And so this conversation is probably going to be ongoing, right? It might take some time to really discover that, and that's totally okay. You don't have to have a complete answer right now, but it's important to set aside time to think about it and have these conversations. So hope that was helpful, and we will see you in the next video.
Continue your journey with the next part of this series.